Hi, everybody. It's Peter Schiff. It is Thursday, August 5th, 2010. 5 days before the Republican primary, I am at the Schiff for Senate campaign headquarters. First up, I want to go over the results of yesterday's phone banking. A bit disappointing. We were almost at 10,000 calls yesterday, and I challenged to break 10,000 calls as a record, and we didn't. We actually went down to 5,809 calls. We had 98 people who called. The winner was Eric from Wisconsin. I think I've seen his name here before. He made 490 calls. In second place was Dan from Moline, Indiana. Dan made 370 calls. They'll be getting How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes books. Also, just a special shout out to Harold from Florida. Harold has averaged the longest calls per caller. I think he's staying on the phone an average of 10 minutes with each person he talks to. So hopefully he is convincing people to vote for Peter Schiff. Now, maybe some of you were a bit discouraged yesterday by the Quinnipiac poll numbers, and you thought, hey, maybe it's a lost cause. I can assure you that's not the case. I don't understand how I can possibly be polling at 14%. Two people that were polled by Quinnipiac actually called us up to let us know that it seemed that the pollsters were trying to steer them towards McMahon. Now, this is what I've heard. Now, we did our own unscientific poll here, and we're going to do a lot more, but we called 100 people, randomly called them through CallFire, just like you guys are calling, and we asked simple questions. And, of course, we didn't identify ourselves as being from Schiff for Senate. It didn't come from a Schiff for Senate phone. And the first question was, are you planning on voting in the primary? 83% said yes, 12% said no, 5% weren't sure. The next question was, who are you most likely to vote for? And we read the names. Now, we did put my name first, just to see if that would, how that might influence the results, just by putting someone's name. But we put Peter Schiff, Linda McMahon, Rob Simmons, or undecided. And here's the results. 26% said they were going to vote for Peter Schiff. 22% said Linda McMahon. 18% said Rob Simmons. And 34% were undecided. Now, that is extremely different than what Quinnipiac got. Now, all we asked were two simple questions. I'm not really sure who Quinnipiac is polling or how they're asking their questions. And we also asked a third question, is your mind likely to change before the primary? 44% said yes, 48% said no, and 8% said undecided. And here's the most interesting. With just me and Linda McMahon, 68% of the people who responded that they were going to vote for Linda McMahon said they were likely to change their mind. However, for the 26% that said they were going to vote for me, only 32% said that they were likely or that they could change their mind. So that is a very different result than what Quinnipiac is getting. Now, we've only done 100 people. We're going to try to take that poll up to 500 and vary the order in which we ask the question as far as who's first, Peter Schiff, Linda McMahon, or Rob Simmons. Now, of course, you guys can do this on your own. What I would suggest is when you make a phone call, when you're doing the call banking, start out by saying, hi, I'm calling to remind you that we have a Republican primary on August 10th. Were you planning on voting? Yes, I was. Oh, great, fantastic. Do you know who you're going to vote for? And just be quiet and listen and see who they say. And if they say Peter, well, check Peter. If they say Linda, check her name off. If they say they're not sure, maybe throw out some candidates. Well, there's three people in the race, Linda McMahon, Peter Schiff, Rob Simmons. Of those three, who are you most likely to support? And then jot down what they say. And then, of course, go into your call. If they say, well, I'm thinking about Linda McMahon, well, question why Linda McMahon. Tell them about me, why they should vote for me instead. Same thing with Rob Simmons. But then you can keep track. And if you make 100 calls, make a note. Then you'll know. And if you want to, post the results of your polls, I noticed the other day, on Ron Paul Forum site, they had a thread where people can do their own polls and post their results. Try it out. We're going to take our 100 calls person poll up to a 500 person poll and see if the results vary. And I think our database of Republican voters, this is a top-notch database. The most recent base, we paid a lot of money for this. I'm not really sure who Quinnipiac is polling or where these names have come from. But, I would not be surprised to see a big difference in the election versus these polls. Anyway, that's the good news, so do not be discouraged. We will announce the results of our expanded poll probably by tomorrow if we can get all those calls made. Anyway, so SchiffForSenate.com. We also raised a lot of money yesterday. I think $30,000 on a giveaway. I did manage to find a number of copies of my father's economic books. The Biggest Con, How the Government is Fleecing You, How an Economy Grows and Why It Doesn't, which is the basis of my new book, How an Economy Grows and Why It Crashes, and one of my favorite books, The Kingdom of Malts. These are 3 books that my father wrote before he became a tax protester, but they are very influential in my way of thinking. So if you want to understand how I got to be the person I am, you need to understand my dad and read his books. And his book, The Biggest Con, I think is one of the best books I've ever read. I've read it several times over my life, and I'm probably going to read it several more. So if you want to get 3 brand new copies of these books, go and make a $200 donation to SchiffForSenate.com, and I'll send you all 3 copies. Check it out on Amazon. You want to buy a used copy of Kingdom of Malts? They're over $100. Used copies of How an Economy Grows and Why It Doesn't, they're $180 a piece. There's not that many of them around. These are brand new, never been taken out of the box. They've been buried in a storage facility for a long time, and I'm giving them away. If all you have to do is make a $200 donation. I know that might be big for some people, but you know what? There's not that many of these books, and it's first come, first serve. And if we run out of books, then everybody who made the donation will give you the option of having all or part of your donation refunded. So go to SchiffForSenate.com, make a donation today. Also, if you haven't done any phone banking, there's only 5 days left. What are you waiting for? Yesterday, I challenged to have a 10,000 call day. We were almost there. We didn't make it yesterday. Let's do it today. 10,000 calls or more in a single day. And you know what? Do the polling yourself. See for yourself if you agree or disagree with what Quinnipiac is finding out. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll be back on the bus most of the day and blogging again tomorrow. Take care, and thanks in advance for your help.